The storm desk. Read the storm, book the roofs. You get on a cedar roof after a hailstorm and the whole field already looks beat to hell. Gray. Split. Cupped. Every shake looks hit. Half of what you shoot is just 30 years of weather, the adjuster sees it, and you lose the slope. By the end of this, you'll know the 5 signs of hail on a woodshake roof, and the one test that tells a fresh split from an old one. Cedar lies to a rookie. It doesn't lie to an operator who reads it right. Start before the ladder. Ask one question. Did hail capable of hurting cedar actually fall here? The National Weather Service calls a storm severe at 1-inch hail, that's quarter size, or 58-mile-an-hour wind. 1 inch is also roughly where roof damage starts. Smaller hail, P to dime, dings soft aluminum but rarely splits sound wood, so pull the dated storm report for the address first. If the nearest report was 3/4-inch hail, walk on skeptical. The storm record sets your prior. It is context, not proof. Now the reason cedar is so hard. Wood does almost every hail sign to itself. It checks, that's a surface crack along the grain. It splits, cups, curls, erodes, and turns silver gray over 30 years of sun and freeze-thaw. A woodshake roof broadly runs 20 to 30 years, longer in a kind climate. So the cedar you inspect today is usually old enough to carry a heavy load of non-hail damage. The signal to noise is brutal. Your job is to find the storm inside the noise. Sign 1, and it's the most reliable. A fresh split with sharp edges and bright exposed wood. Here's the test you came for. Look at the edge and the color inside the crack. A hail split has sharp, clean edges and a bright light orange interior because it opened in this storm and hasn't weathered yet. A weathering split has rounded, eroded edges and a dull gray-brown interior because it's been open for months or years. That gray interior is the giveaway. On a silvered roof, fresh impact splits practically glow. And look for a pattern, not one heroic split. A real event leaves multiple fresh splits across the exposed slopes, not a single dramatic one you had to hunt for. Wind-driven hail hammers 1 or 2 faces hard and leaves the sheltered slopes clean. Fresh splits on the west and south, light damage on the north, and dinged west-facing gutters, that's a coherent story. Gray splits scattered evenly across every slope is an aging story. One bright split surrounded by old gray ones is still just one split. Read the slope, not the shake. Sign 2. Impact dents, bruises, and crushed fibers. Hail can press a circular depression into the wood without splitting it, the fibers crushed. But here's the catch. A dent alone may mean nothing. The Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety puts it plainly. Cedar can rebound from minor hail impacts, and small marks often weather away until they leave almost no trace. So a shallow dent with no fracture is frequently cosmetic. A dent paired with a fresh split or a loosened shake carries functional weight. Sort the dents, don't lump them. Sign 3. Broken corners and chipped butts exposing fresh wood. The butt is the thick exposed bottom edge of a shake. A hail strike near an edge can shear off a chunk, and the break lays bare, bright, unweathered wood. Strong evidence when the surrounding wood is sound. Weak when the shake was already eroded or brittle. And location is a tell. Breaks clustered around the valley. The chimney, the skylight, or the path a roofer walks are suspect for foot traffic, not hail. Rule out the boots before you write hail next to a broken shake. Sign 4 is the one rookie skip, and it's your best witness. A coherent pattern across slopes plus matching collateral. Cedar is ambiguous. Soft metal is not. So check the gutters for round dents, the vent caps, the valley metal, and the air conditioner fins, that classic dense field of dents. When the soft metal on the west is peppered and the west cedar slope carries fresh splits, those two reinforce each other. When the cedar shows scattered splits, but every piece of metal is pristine, the splits are age. Skip the collateral, and you throw away your corroboration. Sign 5 is the functional one, and for the homeowner, it matters most. A shake opened enough to admit water. A cedar roof is a layered system. Shakes over an interlayment of felt between courses, so a single split doesn't always mean a leak. Real water concern comes from splits that run full thickness in a line over the joint below, shakes knocked loose at the nail, missing pieces that expose felt or deck, and damage stacked over a valley. That's the line between cosmetic and functional. Work the functional findings, don't sell the dimples. Now the things cedar does on its own, so you stop miscounting them. Checking is surface cracks that follow the grain. As the wood dries, they don't pass through, and the shake still sheds water. Age splitting runs with the grain from an old check, rounded edges, gray interior. Cupping is the sides curling into a trough. Curling is the butt lifting. Both come from uneven moisture, not hail. Erosion softens the butts. Decay, moss, and rot leave soft, punky fibers. None of that is a storm. Call every split hail, and you lose the adjuster on the first slope. Work the roof in a safe sequence, because Cedar punishes careless boots. Start on the ground. Photograph every elevation, the gutters, the vent caps, the air conditioner, before anyone touches a ladder. Then work the ladder edge and use optics, binoculars, or a long lens read a lot of roof without stepping on it. On a fragile cedar roof, that may be as far as you safely go, and that limit goes in writing. If you go up, stay light, off the butt edges and off the walking paths where you create the foot damage you're trying to rule out. Don't pry at a split. You turn a question into a hole. Document it so it holds up. Shoot wide, then tight. The elevation, then the slope, then the field area, then the close-up with a scale card so a reviewer can judge edge and color. And shoot the clean slope too, because a clean north next to a damaged west is itself evidence of a directional event. The fastest way to lose an adjuster is a folder of tight crops with no context. For every mark, record the likely cause, hail, age, wear, or unknown, and whether it's cosmetic or functional. Boring survives a second adjuster. Dramatic does not. Here's the line, and it is not subtle. You document what you see and write an estimate. You separate impact from weathering. You scope the repair. You do the work. You do not interpret the policy or promise coverage. The insurer decides coverage. The homeowner owns the claim, and the deductible is theirs to pay. On a disputed Cedar claim, an engineer may opine on cause. Stay in your lane. The day you start negotiating the claim, you're an unlicensed public adjuster. Document, don't diagnose the claim. That's the whole rule. And know one good thing about Cedar before you scope it. When the damage is real, the repair is often surgical. Individual hail-damaged shakes can frequently be replaced without redoing the roof. And because Cedar weathers to a uniform gray, new pieces blend within roughly 6 to 9 months. But repairable in theory isn't repairable on this roof. If pulling shakes cracks the brittle neighbors, that goes in the file. And if a 30-year roof at the back end of its life just got pushed over the edge, say that plainly. The number follows the scope, not the other way around. Here's where RoofPredict fits, and where it doesn't. Before you climb anything, it pairs an estimated roof age range with hail and wind modeled per individual home, so an old cedar roof in the heart of a confirmed swath gets looked at before a newer one on the edge. It does not inspect the roof, diagnose the damage, or decide a claim, and roof age is a range, not an exact date. Close the loop. 5 signs: fresh splits, crushed dents, broken butts, a slope-wide pattern with collateral, and a real water path. 1 test: bright wood is fresh, gray wood is old. The list points you at the roof. The careful look earns the file.